Calling all beings. Calling all beings.
Calling all beings, y'all.
Can I get a amen? Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Calling All Beings. I'm your host, DJ, with an amazing group of cabbies tonight, starting with the original gangster, Akashi Chris, the host of Mind Fork.
I'm so happy to be here, you guys.
And
It's
her
gonna be so much fun.
I can't wait, man. And you know what? Dummy me didn't give John the link. So luckily he still had my phone number and he just texted me. So I sent it to him. So he should be backstage momentarily. Our guest
John.
of the evening. Sitting to Akashi's right is another original gangster of cab. They share the love of creating the cool media that you guys are seeing today. They were doing like 5 years ago. So I just want to put that out there. That, of course, is Kevin Flair.
Hello, good to be here. Excited for this conversation.
As am my brother. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for creating an animatronic Bigfoot to creep me and others out. I really love it. Sitting next to me is no longer the new kid on the block anymore. She is no longer the freshman. She is now a sophomore in cab that Boston Bia has showed up to take that mantle. So she is a reporter. She's a researcher. She's a deep thinker. And boy, are we happy to have her on cab along with the rest of you. Party people, put them together for Courtney Connected. Where's my applause?
Hey.
Thank you. Hi, Court. Are you there?
Hey, I'm so excited about this. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Got you loud and clear. You were just freezing.
Okay.
You were doing a
I
robot.
got everybody off.
The robot.
I got everybody off the internet.
Okay, yeah. Get
Courtney
your
the
asses off the
robot.
internet. Mama's using it and I'm paying for it. So
Stop playing
Yeah.
games.
yeah, exactly.
Can
Okay,
you
so
use
let's
your phone? Can you use your phone and mobile
Yes.
data for an
Please.
hour? Thank you. Thank you so
5G,
much.
Holmes. That's all you got is 5G.
Yeah.
Don't touch that Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
All right, so Jules is here. And our super buddy
God,
plus
Jules,
sister
where is she?
is Ruthie Robles.
Ruthie! I love Ruthie. I love Ruthie. She's awesome. And Julie. They're both amazing. I'm going to go
Thank
to
you.
the chat. I'm going to go chat over there.
Please do. We are streaming right now on Mind Forked. Captain Jerry Harris is here. Hello. The
Captain.
Cosmic Carousel is here.
That's Sati. That's my co-host, Sati.
Oh, hi, Sati. How
From
are
my
you?
fork and Cosmic Carousel. That's her channel.
Um,
Jules,
Rocker
Julie
Cookies
and
Car-
Ruthie.
Oh, Canada.
Julie
And now our guest of honor is in the joint. Okay. So this man, we interviewed him some 4 years ago. I know Kevin and I were there for that interview, and I'm fairly certain that we talked a lot more about Freemasons than we did about UFOs. But I think that's going to turn 180 degrees tonight. Boy, I'll tell you what, Jon is such a brilliant guy. You can see how much effort that he put into this. We discovered 4 years ago that all of us here that are on the panel have a mutual friend in James Iandoli, whom Jon had become close with. Hi, Making Changes. And Jon just is, I mean, he's still much better looking than I am. So I figured that out, even if his hair has more gray. So we're very excited to have him on tonight to talk about his book, Contact and Control, which I have been both reading and skimming. There it is right there. Contact. I don't know what's going on with my, I have a green screen. I mean, what's going on here? Let me check my lighting before I get Jon on here. I don't know why it's doing that. It's weird. because usually you don't pixelate when you have a green screen. These guys are like, well, I don't have a background at all, so there's no problem. All right, so without further ado, Cabbies. Hi, Dennis. How are you? He's from one of our true crime fans. Very excited to have this gentleman on and hear kind of what he went through to make this and what his opinions are that drove this book. So without further delay, party people, put those hands together for Ohio's own Jon Majerowski! Can somebody give me an amen for Jon?
Oh my God, DJ. Love that intro, dude. How do you beat that? How do you top? Just you feel good. It makes you feel real good, doesn't it?
Feel good, right? Feel good.
It feels good.
We feel similarly good that you decided to come here and share with us about your book. So I think it works out quite well.
Thank you, man. Thank you for the kind words. I appreciate it.
Yes,
It's
sir.
awesome.
I'm going to put you in the middle just so that you appear as featured as possible. Yeah, there's me on one side. You have Akash and Chris on the other side. Hi, Akash.
Hello.
First
Hello,
of all,
Kevin, Courtney. Hello, everybody.
All right, so you know everybody here? You're familiar with everyone?
Yeah. And you're right. I think Kevin was on the original podcast we did a number of years ago. That was right. And
I haven't met you yet, so I'm new. Yeah, I was
Hi.
here before you, and then you came along, but I wasn't here. But now I'm here. It's like a time warp.
It is. Time is not linear. It's actually the chapter, one of the chapters, names of the chapter of my book.
Yeah, Kevin guessed that you would be all like dressed up nice and we'd be kind of more dressed down. So he's like, you'll see.
You guys are fun.
Yep.
You guys all look great.
Told you.
Yeah, Jon, you're wearing a sports coat. And for what it's worth, I'm going to grow up and I'm going to get a sports coat this year, I think.
You don't have one yet? Okay.
I don't know.
Well,
I mean, the last time I had one was like a funeral or whatever, but I'm going to buy one this year. I feel like, so
it's okay. It's all right, man. I just feel comfortable in it, and I'm down here in the basement. It's cold anyway, so it's nice. It's chilly, so it's perfect, like it's not even hot.
Man, seriously.
Yeah.
So
we're all in our basement stuff.
Are we? Okay.
I don't think Courtney's in a basement. I can see beautiful outside behind her. There's no basement going on.
Is this
That's just a stereotype,
or Montana, Court?
I'm in Alaska, and
Okay.
although this thing's coming out of my head, you guys can kind of see that my house backs up against a forest, so it's pretty sweet location.
Yeah, that's rad. That's really cool.
Would you mind doing a scan for Bigfoot real quick before we get going, just to make sure that there
You
isn't a
told me
suspect?
not to. You told me to
All right,
stay
that's
away
right.
from Bigfoot in Alaska.
Yes, no, I told you don't go Bigfooting in Alaska. Now, where Jon lives, oh my God, like this
There was
year,
a flurry.
right? So you were tracking that, Jon?
Yeah, it was down south. So like where that all went down is a couple hours south of me.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio's a really massive state, believe it or not. It's really huge, and we have the gamut. Like I live up northwest, which is by the Maumee River that dumps into Lake Erie, which is huge, right? Big lake. But then the farther south you go, the more hilly it gets. Really flat here, but the farther south you go, it's really hilly. Gets into the Appalachia down there. But then there's some really cool stuff. Hocking Hills. There's a John Glenn State Park is there, and basically it's the top of a mountain where they have an observatory up there, and it's like anybody could bring their own thing, but they have a bunch of different telescopes they bring out at different nights, and it's like aligned with the solstices, so the light shines through different parts and hits the ground. But like I think it's 400 or 600 miles to the east of there is a I can't remember the exact term, but basically you can't have any lights. There's zero light pollution for like 600 miles that way, so it's beautiful. I mean, you can see the entire galaxy. Ohio, you wouldn't think, right? But it's beautiful, and that's actually where one of my experiences with a bunch of guys, the Rosicrucians and Freemasons, with we went down there and we kind of did high CE5, and we brought orange balls out of the sky 2 nights in a row, and that video is on my YouTube channel too. So yeah, it was beautiful because you can definitely tell from the other side you could see air traffic, but then we were with a pilot and he's like, that's not a plane. I'm like, yeah, no, that's not a plane.
How far is Salt Fork from you, Jon?
Salt Fork, I'm not sure, to be honest.
Okay. I thought it would be near Toledo because Matt Moneymaker, the guy who is the impresario of Finding Bigfoot, went to law school there, and that's when he started researching. So I thought maybe it's near there, but I could be wrong.
It gets kind of really rural, the like more southeast you get, and that's totally. I mean, I've been down there hiking, and honestly, if you got lost, you would have a hard time figuring out where you're at. It's pretty desolate down there in the southeast of the state. So I mean, completely plausible, Haven't had a lot up here in Northwest Ohio as far as sightings go, but that area makes sense. I mean, there's caves, there's woods, there's miles of just nothing. So it's beautiful, though. Beautiful country.
Maybe at the end, after we get through, because your book, and I want to tell people out there that the book, Contact and Control, there is so much in here, no matter what aspect of ufology that you're into and the tangents thereof. Jon has put something in there for you. It really is extremely comprehensive. And I kind of bowed to Jon this week at the work that he put into this book, because it's quite evident and it's very, very well done. So I encourage you. Yes, sir. I encourage you to go to Amazon. So let me begin with the first question, which is what were the sequence of events that drove you or inspired you that you needed, in theory, to write Contact and Control?
Yeah. Well, thanks again for the kind words. A lot of it was, I've been, like I said, I've been researching my entire life. I've been picking out things that, pattern recognition expert, right? The conspiracy theorist is my new title, is pattern recognition expert. And that's legit. And I do that for a living anyway. I'm information security, right? So I look for patterns and I do that. So I realized I was doing this as a profession for so many years, and I'd been doing it, for fun, my spare time, right? What was I doing? And I was doing this, and I've been an experiencer my whole life. So it wasn't until I actually had the experience with my daughter Stella when she was 2. So this was, let's see. So it's about, she's 8. So that'd been like 4 or 5 years ago, where she just laid down on the deck one day. I'll never forget it. It's in my book. It was like July 5th, 2020. And she laid down on the deck and said, "Daddy, put your head right here." And like, never done that before ever, right? We're outside, it's summer, it's hot, we're playing around, goofing around. She's just like, "Daddy, lay right here." And I'm like, what's the matter? Just put your head right here. So I lay down and we're head to head laying on the deck, and she looked up and there was a big white orb right over us. And it was just like, holy crap, right? She was like, "Yeah, yes." And I'm like, okay. Like I could never talk, like I'm not watching, UFO documentaries with my 2-year-old or anything, right? Like this isn't happening. Right. Yeah.
No
and then
context.
My other daughter walked outside and she goes, "There's another one." She pointed off to the side. And so there was 2. And it was like the whole neighborhood, binoculars, everybody's checking out. Everybody's like, "What is it?" Nobody knows. What is it? Everybody's, it was just like a really amazing experience, that whatever this thing was, like she was, conscious of it enough to be able to stop me from what I'm doing, to get me down to lay flat next to her, to share that experience. And I thought for myself, I'm like, you know what, if something happened, if I got hit by a bus tomorrow, nobody would know all the things that happened to me my whole life. When I was a kid, like I've, maybe told bits and pieces, and nobody would know all the experiences I've been through. And then after starting the podcast and all the amazing people I've met and all the conversations I've had, and then, how it furthered my research and everything else. And I was like, you know what, it just felt like I had to do it. If I sold 0 copies or, gave anything away, and if just for her and the girls to have it, to just understand their dad, I think was totally, and the other part of that too was that doing this and being involved in it for so long, I've come across so many people that were just scared to talk about these things and didn't know where to go and didn't know who to talk to about it without being ridiculed or laughed at, or, like they just felt alone, and everybody felt alone. And it was so cathartic when you speak to somebody who've had experiences, you can just be open and honest, and I think I got a lot of that from the podcast, and then just people that would reach out then after that. And it was great. And I was like, man, there's really not a way for people to understand that this is normal. I mean, things that everybody thinks are fringe or bizarre or, is normal, and it happens to everybody. And there's not really a good place to do that in a contextual way to make everybody understand this is just another part of life that we kind of push into a little box and we don't believe. And I thought, well, for all of those things, like you said, it kind of, the book kind of goes all over, right? But I wanted to kind of wrap it all together to be like, you're not alone. You're more powerful than and there's all these things that are going on that are magical and awesome. And of course there's other dark crap that's going on, and the government stuff, and all the distant, but all this other stuff is happening as well. So I wanted to kind of just do that. And like I said, if I end up selling 4 copies, I don't care. I just want to really get it out there. And it feels good, actually, because I felt like the guy, the meme with the red string. I felt like that dude for the longest time. Like I ran out of red string, right? And I was like, okay, I'm done. I got to do it. So it's a really long answer, but I hope I got it right for you there.
As everybody on the panel is a parent except me, I would have to ask you that it's very interesting how your daughter And by the way, I was picturing you guys head to head, where basically the top of your head laying on the deck was top.
That's exactly what it was.
Was that okay? Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It was just like that. Yeah.
I think what's interesting is that children, because people will say, "Well, you're not a trained observer, so you don't know what you're looking for." But so I'm curious what you think it was that your daughter was able to recognize that this was something anomalous. Did you say she was 2?
Yeah, she was 2. So I mean, she was talking. She spoke really well at 2, but it wasn't, we're not having full conversations. I mean, it was pretty good, but it wasn't like, to the point where, hey, I'm going to go upstairs. It was, she was a 2-year-old, right? So it was amazing to have that recognition. And it wasn't as if she was staring up in the sky and she wasn't like looking everywhere. It was more like just like she just stopped what she was doing and dropped and did that. And it was just really instant. And it was just like a natural thing. And it was amazing. She didn't have it wasn't a fear reaction. It wasn't an awe reaction. It was just kind of like she had to tell me it was there. And then she was just done and going about her business. Like, cool, water balloon time again. Right. It wasn't, as profound as it was, I guess, for everybody else that was there, but it was still interesting that was the catalyst. She was the catalyst for the whole thing.
But that she so if it would have been a 737, that's what I mean. Yeah. That's what's amazing about it. Let me pass it over to Akashi Chris, so I'll shut up. Akashi Chris. Host of
Hey, you were on a roll, so that was really cool. So first of all, I do want to say, John, I love the fact that the things that you said about you don't care if it's like you sell 4 copies, because that means you're doing it because it's coming out of you. It's like you're doing it for the love of the topic. Huh? Oh, are you? Is it me? It might be me.
I don't know.
I hear you.
Can you guys hear me?
I can now. Everybody froze for a couple seconds there.
Okay. I live in the country and my lagging is really bad. But I'm sorry. So first of all, thank you for saying that whole thing about you're doing this not to sell copies, but to actually because the passion of it, you want to get that information out there and make sure people, whoever sees it for whatever, but that's something, the strings and your board in your head that I can imagine that you drew would be really impressive. But let me ask you something. So take you back to, let's talk about control. Like it always trips me out. Like I feel like I have the control to pick up my phone. I have the control, like I can control that I pick up my cup. So let me take you back to that first time, your first experience where maybe that shook, your brain is like the bouncer, right? That doesn't let bad things come into the party. Yeah. When was that? Take me back to that moment where all of a sudden you started questioning your own sense of control.
So that was definitely the experience. I've had experiences ever since I was 4 or 5 that I can remember, right? Just shadow people, entities, ghosts, whatever you want to talk about, anything, right? But it wasn't until I was probably 17 where I had sleep paralysis, where I was completely frozen for an extended, it was hours, where I was in view of an atomic clock. So I had my eyes on a clock and it was literally like 3-4 hours. And where I couldn't move at all, completely frozen, just my eyes. I couldn't even blink, but I was just there and trying to will my body to move, to fall, to do anything. And, and still be able to see the shadow people and see the things that were, and not have any control over my body whatsoever, 0. And then that's when, you know that there's something bigger than you that's doing these things. Now, the medical explanations, everybody has sleep paralysis, whatever you want to call it, but it was in a situation where I've never had that before. And I thank God I've never had it after that. And it was at a time when I was calling out these things to leave me alone. I was like, I'm done. I don't want to see this anymore. I'm done. I can't, I'm just over it. Just go away, And I was really forceful about that. It was not even a week before that, probably even less, that I was just basically yelling to the universe, go the fuck away. I'm done. I am done. I'm done. And then that happened. And it was kind of almost no, we could do what we want, whatever we want to, kind of thing. And that really freaked me out. So to put it in perspective, not only the phenomenon itself, there's a control mechanism, but we talk, the government, whatever you want to call it, the Vatican, whatever the entities are out there, human or otherwise, they definitely want to control you and your perception Oh, Jules. Hey, Jules. I just saw her pop on the screen. Love you, Jules. You're rad. Yeah. So like, yeah, it definitely, when you get to see that, it's not only about like what's going on, but how the control mechanism sets in. And that's the, why I named it contact control, because it seems like everybody who has some type of contact experience also experiences that control mechanism in whatever form, or maybe all of the forms, unfortunately, at one point. And that's the part that sucks, because it's validating, but at the same time, disheartening, I guess, is the easiest word to use. But scary, I guess, too, because something can do that, right?
Yeah, because it's like all of a sudden you don't have a sense of it. There's a sense of trust of your own reality, right? And your own control and your own senses. And all of a sudden it's completely shook. By the way, I've had sleep paralysis, but I can't imagine hours of that. No. And the last time I had it, you know why it stopped? I wasn't scared the last time I had it. I was like, I'm going to go for a ride, and I've never had it again. And I'm so angry because whenever I panicked, I would get it all the time. Like it would repeat whenever I would, that panic thing. That's like,
oh yeah. Yeah. I panicked for a long time.
I can't move, so, but 4 hours, that's mind boggling. But yeah, I can imagine that messed up your trust of that sense of security. Right.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like, I know this isn't me, I had enough time to process all of it. Like, is there something, am I having an aneurysm? Is it like everything, right? Like everything you can think of in all that amount of time is like, did I take too many vitamins? Did I take not enough vitamins? Am I not drinking enough vitamin C? Like, you go through the whole thing in your head and you're like, maybe I got to switch to light beer. Like, you just go to like everything you could possibly imagine, right? Like, I don't know. And then after a while, you're just like, oh my God, like, what do you do? And I think it was purpose, because I was working at a radio station at the time, and I was in one of the studios, and of course we had an atomic clock to keep, track for the thing. And I was perfectly positioned where I was just eyeballs at it and frozen. So it was almost like
wow.
How much more can you mess with somebody? We're going to do this for you for as long as we want. And you're going to watch it in atomic time as the seconds pass, right?
Might as well give you an hourglass and
just let it go, right? Yeah.
Courtney connected before you ask your question to John. What's your favorite beer?
Oh, you know what? I quit drinking beer a lot. I've been drinking a lot of whiskey.
No, that was for Courtney, because you said light beer.
Oh yeah, light beer.
So, Courtney, what's your favorite beer?
It's called Mac and Jack, and it comes out of Seattle, and you can't get it outside of Seattle, but that was the beer I used to drink. I'm not a big beer drinker, but I love Mac and Jack when I have access to it.
That's awesome.
Girl's got expensive taste, John. All right. He's all yours. Go ahead, Court.
Okay. I just want to put a pin in the fact that I have a question for Nathan. He put it in. He's not able to be here tonight, but we can get that in the round of questions. So I noted it, but I always do this. I have multiple questions, right?
That's fine. That's fine. I appreciate it.
I've waded into the book. Yeah, I've waded into the book, but I haven't finished it. But I would like you, it's less of a question, but more of can you tell the audience about the psychic chapter? Because that's one of my loves in my research. And can you explain the research at the Vatican with Linda Mount just a little bit, and kind of explain what that was and what you go into in the book and why?
Yeah. And I don't think I've ever said this publicly, but we're just going to break some news here that Linda Mount's a pseudonym. So she asked me not to use her real name. So that's because of privacy issues. She didn't want people to track her down and things like that, obviously. And I understand that, because of some people in the community can get a little wild and weird, and I understand that. But that was it was an interesting thing. So when I started getting into the podcast, and I always held a belief for psychic. I was at the radio station. One of the I can't remember his name was John. I don't want to say Edwards, but that's probably not it. Razowitz would probably give me some crap about it, but he was one of the guys that would talk to dead people that are around you. Always
John Edward.
Okay. Yep. So he was, famous for that. It was when I was going through all that experience, like around the same time that I had that sleep paralysis thing, he, we were on the air because he was on the morning show, and, we were doing that, and off the air, he was just talking to us. He would do on the air for the people around there, and people called in, and off the air, I was the producer too at the time. So, I had some one-on-one time, and I'm like, hey man, I'm like, do you think you could see everything. And he just looked at me like, no, mm-mm. And I'm like, what, dude? Like, and he's like, no, I can't. I just don't want to, and I can't. And I'm like, okay. Like, and he wasn't being an asshole. He was just like, you know what I mean? And it wasn't like I hadn't lost any. It was just really, really odd. And for me, I was like, well, but like other people were just having real big experiences. So I knew there was some validity to it, but you have Miss Cleo. So you have that whole gamut of, you got Miss Cleo, you got people that are doing the real thing. And then that reminded me of the control mechanism. Like, well, what are they doing? Yeah, they're controlling this whole thing to make everybody think that it's some, crazy, fortune teller lady with the crystal ball, and that it's not real, So I started leaning into it more, and I started interviewing people and talking to people that had been part of programs, had been part of.
She's for real.
Okay, well, there you
She's
go.
for real.
There you
She's
go.
coming on the show to do a reading.
Awesome.
I got to figure out how to get this off screen. Oh, there it is. All right, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. I thought you were popping up Miss Cleo for a second, but he's not the father.
No, this girl literally found someone. She's in Wisconsin. Someone called her from Louisiana and said, "Can you help me find my mom?" She directed them directly to the mom's body in Louisiana the next morning.
Oh my God.
Sadly, she'd passed, but Carolyn's amazing. That's when I said, "Okay, you're coming on Cab to do a true crime something for us." But anyway, please continue.
No. And it wasn't until I started talking to a couple people, Buddy Bolton, kind of. I don't know if you know him or not, but Buddy's amazing. So Buddy was like, "Hey, I can teach you to. Everybody can do this." I'm like, "No." I'm like, "No way." Everybody's like, "Everybody can do it. Everybody can do it." He's like,
wow.
He's like, "You just need to train." He's like, I'll train you." He's like, "Just call me on Zoom." And so we just did a bunch of those things, and some of the craziest things happened, just on Zoom with Buddy, where like things are flying off my wall. The clock literally flew across my wall down here, and I'm like, holy crap, just a bunch of stuff. And then the simple things that, and he broke it down so easy to make it like, it was just, this is how you do this. And this is how you, and I'm like, oh, that's it. Right. And I started doing it. And then, Duane Kier was another lady I spoke to who's, she's another psychic, and she's like kind of this, I kind of got the same thing. Everybody has their own different take on it. And the way I think I said it in the book is like, I can go shoot a basketball and hit the hoop a couple times, but I'm not like Michael Jordan. Like Michael Jordan, like every single time, right? He's going to hit that hoop. He's going to I can make a couple baskets, but I'm not good. Some people are just naturally amazing, right? And other people just have to work at it. You got to dribble. You got to do some drills. And once I started seeing that, and then having my own experiences, and then the remote viewing thing, like if we go back into that, sorry, that was like a big long segue, right, to that, which was, there were people that are like, hey, we wanted to speak of people who are like not pros, right? You're not a remote viewing pro. You're not like, doing everything, like somebody who's just basic, or you're just starting out, or if you didn't even tried it, just do this thing. And so it was, coordinates, remote viewing coordinates, and I got some crazy stuff. And for me, I don't remote view. Like, I don't think I remote view like anybody else. For me, I just kind of do my own thing with a pen and just, impressions. And I know, I kind of follow like the Ed Dames method with the, paperwork. It's, I kind of do a little bit of that, right? I figured if the Army can like make it a little bit for any idiot to do it, then I can do it, right? I kind of follow that method. So I'm just going to do this, right? So I kind of just, follow that. And I just got a crazy thing where it was just a volcano. It was a mountain, but it was a volcano, and it was, and I got the impression that it was a time machine volcano. And that sounds insane, right? It's like, why is this a time machine volcano? And then I didn't hear anything for the longest time, because I'm thinking, okay, this is either a joke or it's just, whatever. Or I suck really bad and I'm not nowhere near whatever it was. And then I found out afterwards, after the other remote viewers, that it was just, I think it's Mount Graham, if I have it right. And there's a lot of weird stuff going on down there. And the Vatican has a telescope that's on that. It's in, I think it's Arizona, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I think it's there. And they have the largest binocular telescope in the world, I think now. So it's like, binocular telescope. Wow. And its name before they got all the bad publicity was Lucifer. It was, the acronym was Lucifer. It was LUCI. It was like large, sorry, I can't spit it out right now, but there was a lot of weird things. It was a Native American site that was basically taken over by the Vatican, the Jesuits, and they kind of just threw them off the land. So they didn't have anything there that would, show that there's no structures. They just went, basically followed the law. There's no structures there. There's all this stuff, and it's not sacred because you don't have a box there that, at one time said you were doing something. So there's they're not the locals aren't there. The local cops aren't even around allowed to go up there. There's like an old paramilitary force, I think, that shows up a couple times a year. Black camo guys. They just post around the mountain and nobody can go in or out. There's supposedly, some endangered species up there of plants that you can't go around stepping around anything because you might, that's just another cover for a lot of things that nobody wants anybody to get near. So there's a lot of things going on there, and I know the telescopes are there, but I just got the time machine volcano thing was just interesting because it's not necessarily a time machine, and it is a dormant volcano, but the idea I after doing a little more research, I was thinking, well, the time machine part is that, you're seeing backwards in time because you can see light that has, it's already stars that have already exploded and we're only finally seeing those things. So maybe that was it. Like you're looking at, historic events from light from outside the galaxy that haven't hit us yet. And then I went crazy into the whole Vatican part. The rest of that chapter, if you read that chapter, I kind of go really deep in there and I'm like, oh, holy crap. What else are these people hiding? And who else might be behind a lot of this? So yeah, that took a big turn, I think. Hopefully I answered your question, Courtney. I'm sorry that just rambled, but
yeah, no, you did. You absolutely did. And I think it's a part of the book that might not have otherwise come up that will help intrigue people to get it and read it. So that's why I brought it up.
Right.
I have another question, but
sure, go for it. I mean,
I'll pass it off to Kevin.
Wait till we come. Yeah, we'll come back around because we're going to get Kevin. We're going to get Nathan. I'll go. We'll come back around. But for those of you who aren't in the know, I mean, Diana Pasulka wrote about this in American Cosmic with Timothy Taylor and how they ended up having to use her credentials to get access to the Vatican. And what John is telling you is that there is a lot of information there that I think most of the population regarding UFOs and the phenomenon going back literally centuries is an understatement.
Yeah.
And I think that's what he's trying to get to. A lot of you, and in particular, practicing Catholics may not be aware of that. Let's go to Kevin, then we'll go to Nathan's question, and we'll keep going around in a circle.
All right. I want to go back to actually the control topic. So you posted, you made a cool post online about disclosure, and you were asking why are the biological effects not listed? And in my own research, I've noticed a lack of functional context in the reports too. There's no antecedents, no consequences. So we're really not looking at anything. Do you think that the continuing ambiguity is intentional? Speaking about control mechanisms.
Of course. Yeah, I think so. And I think that's always the play, right? I mean, classic disinformation, any of that is basically, hey, look over here at the shiny thing. Don't look over here at this other, the thing here. We're going to throw this up. It's like, and usually it's always like 3 or 4 more steps, right? Basically, when you get into any of the, I'm trying to remember, in college, I took a couple courses that were, intelligence, and it was more like there's a methodology where you have something that you don't want anybody to pay attention to, then you cause a distraction, but you also cause another distraction after that, and then another one, and then if it's really big and you don't want anybody to pay attention to, you have like the third or the fourth one, which is, you really don't want anybody paying attention to that. So you have this whole line of things. A classic example is I don't know if people might be aware of this or not, but when people are trafficking drugs interstate through different states, you'll have a car in the front. Normally that's clean. No, it's not stolen. It's just a regular car. People in it that don't have huge records, just normal people that they're getting paid, and they're in the front car and they're doing 100 miles an hour or more, and they're just flying, right? They're just going completely as fast as they can so that if there's any police, they're going to like, oh crap, look at this guy. We're going to pull him over. Cool. Focus on that guy. The middle car, most of the time, and there could be multiples of these, right? So with the middle car, maybe the payload car with everything that's in it, right? The drugs, whatever they're smuggling, right, is in this car. It's normal, same deal, right? People are just driving normal van, anything you could possibly think of that's your everyday minivan or whatever, right? And that car is just going the regular speed limit to evade. If that car happens to get pulled over, there's a third or fourth car that happens to pull up on the police officer as they're being pulled over, and they usually take out the police officer to let the other car go. So if you think about that in the context of drug smuggling or whatever you're smuggling like that, if you think about that in terms of disclosure or, shaping a narrative, same kind of deal. You have this fast thing that everybody's paying attention to. Oh, we just released a whole bunch of shitty videos and nobody can see anything about it. It's just like this grainy stuff. And like, oh, look at this document that everybody's already had a copy of for 40 fucking years. Yeah, pay attention to that, right? It's like, but don't pay attention to people getting their DNA taken by people in the intelligence community and being studied for after effects of contact. Why would we talk about that, right?
Exactly.
Sorry, that was a really long analogy, but
no, that was great. That was perfect.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Courtney, if you would read Nathan's question, that would be awesome.
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yep, got you loud and clear.
All right. Nathan asked, I have to go to the Cabby reunion show. Here we go. He wants to know if you believe the government is tracking experiencers for good or nefarious purposes.
Yes.
And he also says hello.
Tell him I said hello as well.
John,
that was great.
You elaborate on that?
Yes.
Can you tell us more, John?
Yes. Okay. Yes. I learned early on that if the government or whoever is doing this, and I use the term loosely, government, right? Whoever is running this and cares enough to create the disinformation and to create the control structure around it, that whatever the phenomenon isn't speaking to the government at all. They're not talking. They don't have a one-way. They have a two-way communication. Yeah, there's no. Let me call you up on the red phone or anything. That's not happening. And the people that do have contact experiences will then all of a sudden become the commodity. They're the focus of interest, right? Because if you can't talk to the phenomenon itself, or you can't interact with the phenomenon itself, the next best thing is to follow the people that do, and speak to the people or study the people that are, in hopes to maybe getting a way to have that contact that you desire yourself, right? It's I hate to go back to that whole intel thing, but it's just, you're not just going to start, join the mob. You got to pretend to be your cousin Tony, and then 400 years later, then you're going to get in, and you know what I mean? And then then you're like in there, and then you know what's going on. I think that's kind of the same mentality. It's where they're not paying attention, whatever they're doing, the phenomenon is not paying attention to what their wishes, and they're not doing the communication. So the biggest thing is to follow the experiencers, to figure out what's going on, to try to mimic it, to try to do the thing. And I think that's my from what I could be completely wrong. Like, all of this is obviously just my years of research and my gut. And I think that's kind of what's going on. They're following the people because they don't have the way to get at it themselves at all. Hope you're on mute, buddy.
DJ.
Thank you.
DJ,
Yes.
We can't hear you.
I know what a goofball I am. Okay, John, you said there's something though good that they were doing. You said good and nefarious.
Oh yeah. Well,
got to hit the good part now, if there is. Because you said yes.
Yes. Well, if you think about it in terms of geopolitics, if, for example, we're all Americans, I think maybe we're all Americans that
I'm Canadian, man. I'm just kidding.
All right. Okay. Like if for example, if there was somebody who had a really strong psychic connection, somebody that was really strongly connected to the phenomenon, and if you were a competing nation, maybe you would want to snatch that person up to put them in a lab, right? Or to study them more, because you want to gain an upper hand for your country and your program, right? So potentially there could be some good that because the experiencers are on the radar of the people that could potentially stop other countries from meddling and, abducting people and taking them, like McCasland or something. I don't know. Maybe that would be a good thing. Or the scientists that all disappeared. Maybe. Could they be just sequestered away so that another country, another nation doesn't steal them? And it's a theory, that might be the good side. I'm trying to look at the glass half full.
You're like, I'm trying to drag this.
I'm trying to drag it in.
I mean, I say this to people. I mean, the only positive I could say is a lot of the way we would respond to this could be based on what our job description is. So let's just say our job description is UFO analyst. and then however we make our money and pay our respective mortgage.
Mhm.
Well, for them, theirs is to guard the United States against all enemies, foreign, domestic, from the air, land, sea, etc. So if you're going to tell people, well, there's something out there flying there, but we don't know what it is. We can't stop it from flying over our most secure facilities, and we basically have no control over it. But everything's going to be okay, so don't worry.
It's going to be all right. Yeah, it's going to be.
And what's funny is we have a cabbie who happens to be on the chat right now because she's on vacation headed to Hawaii's #jealous. And she's from our true crime show, and she's new in UFOs. So her biggest question, brand new in UFOs and Bigfoot and paranormal. So her question is, what are you doing to protect me? Whereas nobody here is asking that question, but laypersons are asking that question.
Well, I mean, and I say this in all seriousness, is that when I started my, Ian Doley, right? He was the guy who got me into the whole thing, our mutual friend, right? He was like, John, you should do this podcast. You should do it. You have a good voice. I mean, you're coming from the Freemason side and all this. I'm like, man, I don't want it. So he's an amazing dude, amazing human, helped me out the entire way. And I was scared at the beginning because like up until that point, and I hate to say this now in hindsight, but it wasn't like, people before who were experiencers that became public, people that were doing research like that, they would get visited, either men in black or other people that would just be like, hey, shut up. Just be quiet. Bad things are going to happen to you. The van would literally show up and take you for a ride and be like, hey, knock it off. Right. Or you're going to play ball and you're going to tell people this, or things are going to happen to you. And like, it was around COVID around that time where I felt like it was dying off. That wasn't happening. People weren't just disappearing anymore. It was like, I don't think and because of the whole disclosure push of 18, I thought that they were going to be more lenient where nobody's falling out of windows and, okay, cool, fine, I'll do the podcast. I'm not going to disappear. And like every podcast, I'm trying to say, don't fold up with the van. If you're telling, just come to, everybody has my phone number. Just call me. Don't make me disappear. Right. I'm not suicidal. Like literally until recently when McCaslin and all these series of other people started disappearing that were connected to the issue. And so it has me a little bit worried, but at the same time, you just can't keep doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting the same results. And I think that's part of the disclosure push at least from the government side, at least whatever faction of that is they realize they can't keep this crap up anymore. And then there's probably the other side that just is like, this is our business. We're analysts. This is what we do. We pick people up and throw them in vans. I think it's, seriously, I think it's the whole gamut. I really do. I really do. So yeah, I hope there's people out there looking out for each other, for sure. But there's only so many times that people can get suicided or disappeared before everybody starts to. And the sad part about all that is that everybody kind of knows, but like, what are you going to do about? How are you going to do anything about it? What are you going to do? How are you going to stop it? Right?
I mean, so man, that's a double-edged question. Real quickly, let me get for Kate Chase, and then I'm going to follow up with your. Kate is wondering if you're going to Contact in the Desert this year, John.
I'm not. I met you there last time, Kate. Like 2 years ago, I was there with Jay Anderson from Project Unity. We were hanging out and having a good time and seeing that scene. That was wild. It's a whole different scene. Contact in the Desert's a good time. Maybe I'll have to go next year. Set up a booth next to Richard Dolan. See who can sell more books.
Well, John,
I think he's going to win.
I mean, his knowledge is encyclopedic. It's insane. His knowledge of ufology and from historical perspective.
Unmatched, man. Unmatched. Yeah. I wish I would go. I gotta, I don't know. That was a really weird vibe. I mean, you had everybody from the whole gamut, 2023. Yeah. You had the whole gamut of, people that were like experiencers, the hucksters, the shysters. You had like the people selling crystals, sit in this PVC copper pipe triangle and heal your chakras, to like legit people that had experiences, to spooks, crooks. You had active military, everybody. You had the whole gamut, right? You had every intelligence branch you can imagine was there. Weird psychic people that were mystic. Like it was just insane. It was the whole gamut. So I had a better time outside of any of the lectures and the talks, just hanging out with people and getting to know people and having drinks and dinner. And that was 1,000% better than sitting there listening to somebody's, lecture that could be good for somebody.
I had the exact same reaction to going to a UFO event. It was so much fun just hanging out with the people. Dinner was awesome. That's how we met Leah Prime. So yeah.
Yeah. No, I'd probably go back just to check it all out. There was a couple. Jay and I had a really weird experience. We were walking out of the. I don't know if we told Kate that one time we were walking out there, but we were walking out of the main doors to like where the pool area was, and basically had like frozen time. Jay and I at the same exact time, where we were just completely like time kind of stopped for us, and we were just in this weird, like really weird vibe, and both of us are just going.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Like time slip.
Yeah, and we got out of it, and it was like walking through an invisible bubble, and both of us were like, "What was that?" And I'm like, "I don't know," but that was pretty wild. And
wow,
yeah. Other than that, there's some really weird people too. But like,
and I wasn't there. In case you
guys
are about to. No, it wasn't. Yeah.
I got some really weird vibes. Like, and I was really kind of practicing a lot more of the psychic things. There were some people that were just like way off in the distance, just sitting there staring at us, and I'm like, this is. I don't know what they're doing, but I'm leaving. Like, this is like,
I'm exit stage left.
Yep, so. I'm going. But yeah, it was a good time.
Jules, I'm looking for your question. If you can post that again, I'm going to ask John. So fear not on that. If you would just say it again and post it again. Let's see what else that is. So we got Kate's question in there, so that's good. So now it's back to me. The pressure's on. Okay, John, if you were to extract the aspects of this book and encapsulate this in a few paragraphs here that you think is most important that you would want the public to know, because as I said, it's quite comprehensive. There's a lot of information in there. So what do you really want people to know? And by the way, before we do that, I just want to say real quick, because this gentleman just showed up and he's a friend of the show. I don't know if you know him, John, but I would recommend if he asks you to come on. This is Dr. Tim Mounts. Okay. He is the host of All Things Unexplained, Mississippi's own Dr. Tim Mounts, who I got to visit with in North Carolina. And what a gentleman. Never going to feel so welcome showing up at someone's house you've never met in person, but you're just brothers in the unexplained. So
awesome. Yeah. Hit me up, man. I don't know you, but I will take your recommendation, DJ.
Great guy. Yeah, great guy. And all three of them were school teachers on there. He, CJ, and Smitty. One of them is still a school teacher. He's a college administrator. And right now, CJ is raising kids, but all three of them were teachers at one point. So
that's awesome. Yeah.
Okay. So John, if you were to extract out what you really want people to know, because I feel like the topics that you've put in here, and I know Courtney had said at one point that some of them may run counter to maybe Gary Nolan's perceptions of the phenomenon, but obviously there's something that you feel really important that a lot of people, maybe even of us that know about UFOs, should be concerned about or should be tracking.
Okay, we'll talk about the Gary Nolan thing then. That's kind of, we'll just dive into it. But to encapsulate the whole thing, I mean, yeah, I mean, some highlights are like the phenomenon's not random. It follows genetic profiles. It follows families. It goes across, there's genetic markers that are involved. They've pretty much identified some of them. Rh negative blood type is a higher convergence of some of these things with people. Not always, but it seems to be a pattern. DNA is evidence that you can't discredit. You can dismiss a experiencer's testimony. You can just tell me that whatever I saw in the sky was a balloon, which literally is hilarious because I was like, I'm making the MUFON report. Here's the date, here's the time, here's the video, here's the timestamps, here's me looking for satellites, planes, here's the whole, like, I know what I'm doing. Here's all the stuff. And I got the report back that it was a weather balloon, which is awesome, right? Staple that to the wall because that's perfect for you guys because that happens all the time. So, but you can dismiss that, but you can't dismiss a genetic marker, right? If it shows up in somebody's biology, you just you cross the implications are enormous. You cross the part of being subjective to just actual data. Then at that point, like biological data, physical data that you can track and you can dig into. So, what does that mean? That means that the people that are doing this and care about it and want to be part of it are doing that, and they're focusing on it, and they're keeping that quiet, and they're shutting people up that are speaking about it. They're shutting up experiencers, people that you know, people you don't know, and it happened to me. And that was one of the big deals, and I'm going to talk about it. I've talked about it pretty much every time. Was that Ayandoli? Love the guy. He had Andrew Razowitz, psychic firefighter, on. Andrew Razowitz, in this clip, I clipped a 1 minute segment from their podcast where Razowitz was saying Gary Nolan and Kit Green are taking DNAs from experiencers, and they're not telling people what they're not telling everybody what they're doing with it. They're trying to create a drug that's turning on and off the phenomenon, and they're not telling anybody, including experiencers like me, who's had my DNA given over, and we don't know, and it's bullshit. And I posted that on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Tom DeLonge reposted it, and it got like 1 million, like 2 million views, or
really
retweets. Yeah, it blew up massive. And I'm trying to take my daughter to school, and I'm getting DM'd Nolan. He's like, "Take it down, John. Take it down. It's not true." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I didn't even know what he's talking about. Like, what do you mean? And it's like this. I'm like, Razowitz talking to James about this. I'm like, I didn't say any of this stuff. And he's like, "Yeah, take it down. It's not true." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" So I'm taking my kid to school. By the time I get back, he's like, "Fine, you're blocked." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" So he like just blew up, had a fit, blocked me. And then after that, I had like the dogs came out. It was like whatever bots they could sick on me, Twitter bots at the time, whatever random people they had in their pocket, people I didn't know, people I did know that were contacting me going, "John, you should take it down." And I'm like, dude, I'm not the one saying that Nolan and Kit Green's looking at brain scans and Nolan's looking at the genetic markers. I'm like, I didn't say it. It was this other guy, Razowitz. Why are you coming after me? And then I just got shadow banned. I got like, you can't go onto YouTube and look for UFOs on the level anymore. It wouldn't show up. Like none of people that I talked to in DMs on Twitter started disappearing. My tweets were going away. Like I'd post them and they just disappeared. I'm like, what? These fuckers have that much reach because of a thing that I didn't even say. Like, what if I said it? Like, so that was it. I just like, I'm doubling down. Like, I'm just going to figure it out. So I talked to Razowitz a couple times on the record and off the record a lot. And I spoke to a lot of people off the record that didn't want to go out and talk about it because they're like, this shit got classified and they don't want anybody talking about it. It's going to put people in a lot of trouble. It's like really severe. They're really trying to do this. And then Dean Radin came out on a podcast last year. I put it in my book. I read the quote, but basically he said, "We figured out a way to bypass the blood-brain barrier, right, through a nasal spray that can turn on, depending on whatever the dosage is. We can make you psychic for a little bit amount of time or forever. And I'm afraid that this is going to get scooped up and put into a black project and it'll never see the light of day again." So I want to,
just real quick. Does it also clear nasal congestion?
I wish. It's kind of like Flonase. It might be.
Okay, tough crowd. All right, there you go.
It might be. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. No, this is serious business. It's a laughing matter, people.
So he said that. Dean Radin said that in like 2 different podcasts. And I'm like, he's like, I'm afraid something's going to happen to me. This is Dean Radin, who's been in this whole psychic, thing forever, right? He's been doing actual clinical research. He says amazing books. He's an amazing doctor, right? So like, if he's saying he's afraid for himself and for the research to go away, and he's just going to tell people about it, then there's something to it. Razowitz and I theorized that maybe if you did that, it's $1 trillion industry for whoever's going to sell that to the government. Think about all these guys that are the biggest experiencers, or not experiencers, like the biggest ops guys in the world, SEAL Team 6, but on steroids. Yeah. Imagine if you gave these guys the psychic nose spray, that all of a sudden they're telepathic. And they know what's going to come around the corner before it comes around the corner. They know where everybody's is in the house. They know how this whole thing's going to play out. There's 6 of them, 10 of them, whatever. They all can speak into their, telepathically. They don't need comms. They don't need electronics. They know the guy's going to come around the corner with the knife before it happens. That's $1 trillion drug to sell the government, right? Why would you not try to cover that up and hide it and patent it, freeze it? So that's the other side, right? And Radin was the one who came out and said, maybe there'd be a super soldier thing. And Razowitz kind of heard about that too. So I understand the classified part, understand everybody's trying to make money and all the other things. But if you think about it in reverse, if they can turn it on, they can turn it off.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
So what happens to all these people, even us, that are psychic or not psychic, or maybe, like I said earlier, everybody could be if we study, try to train yourself and do these things. What happens if they can just turn it off, and then it's only certain people or certain countries,
I feel like
regions.
I feel like McGonigal said things like that. Joe McGonigal, the remote viewer, and Pat Price. I feel like they've said that other people can do this. It's not just them.
Yeah, everybody can do it. Honestly, everybody can do it. Like I said, anybody can do it if they care, they try. You focus on it, you can do it. You just got to train. It's just like like I said, I'm not gonna be Michael Jordan, but if I went out and shot hoops every night, I'm gonna make more than I did the week before, right? Like, and that's just how it is. But if you could turn it off for entire populations or ethnicities or whatever, right? How would that happen? Like, who's got the right to do that?
Right. Right. That puts too much control that is in the hands of whomever is controlling it. But wow, that's another. I mean, after Jesse Michael's revelations this week, I didn't know if I could take any more of them. But I thank you very much for bringing this up. And Gary's a friend of the show, and you're a friend of the show, and I have no
animosity, hard feelings about Gary. I understand when things get pushed and they're classified and you can't be attached to them. You have NDAs, you have things that people show up and say things are going to happen to you. I get it. You shouldn't attack me though. That's my 2 cents. You shouldn't have came after me. You should have came after the guy who said it on the guy's podcast. You said it, right?
True.
Not me. I just cut the clip, but I think that was good because he weaponized me to figure it out. Figured it out. I don't know what's going to do for me. Make Van show up later, but other than that, I just put it out there. I figured people should know.
I want to thank you for your courage. And before we get Akashi Chris, I just want to say that we're speaking with the author of Contact and Control, UFO. I have it sitting in front of me. UFOs, DNA, and the Hidden War on Human Potential. So I think there's so much, even in the title of the book, that I think that everybody should try to kind of ingest and get the book and reach out to Jon.
Yeah,
if you
hit me
have
up.
questions,
Totally.
he will engage with you and answer your questions as he did for me when I reached out to him. Either that or I Indoli threatened him. I don't know which one it was. And with that, let's go. Gosh, you got all the above. He's like, hey, Jon, how you doing? Go ahead.
Talk to DJ.
How do you follow that?
We have so much fun on Cab. I mean, what am I going to do? Go ahead.
I got no accent for that one. Go ahead, DJ.
Hey, I just want to say, Kashi, we're going to get used questions in there because Julie's got one. And then Ruthie Robles, my homie from New York. We're going to get yous in after Kevin, all right?
Forget about it.
Forget it, yeah.
Me? Okay, after all, is that me? Okay, so Jon, this is where my head turns into a pretzel. I'm like one of those cartoon characters with the X's, right? So I'm going to take you back to control one last time. So in a world where they can control you, you were talking about them not necessarily communicating with leadership or asking questions. Well, they don't have to, right? I mean, because if they can control you and me, they probably can pull strings at all kinds of levels. So this is where I start to kind of question, and I start to sit back. I'm like getting all deep. Disclosure. Is it really a desire, the phenomena, to disclose itself? Is it where's it gonna go? Is it a timeline being hit? Is it humans pushing something? Is disclosure its own control before we all figure out that we have powers that if we all figure them out, they're in trouble. So this is where it's like, is disclosure freedom or is disclosure control? Am I happy? Am I sad? How do I feel, Jon? Tell me how.
How do you feel? How do you feel about the whole thing? Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's yes. I think it's all the above. I mean, I think there's obviously we're all humans, right? I mean, and if anybody has, I'm just going to say things because I say them. But some people have spoken to that have been really involved in the programs or whatever you want to call them, right? That are tied to the thing. All of those people have had experiences. They're experiencers, all of them, right? And that's on purpose because the people they put into the positions that have a part to play in these things have to come at it from a perspective where they know it's real and they know that what it's done to them personally and the experiences they've had that they've carried with them. They're not just going to get Joe and throw him in there and be like, Joe, you're in charge of this. No, they're going to get somebody that's, that has had an intimate experience with the phenomenon. And if you look at it from that perspective, and I'm not going to say all, but in a lot of things, they understand the implications of maybe the good and the bad of that side right? So how, maybe it's not all love and light. Maybe there are some really dark things that happen and that can happen because of this, and maybe that there are people on that side that know the implications of it and are protecting the greater population from things that we can even begin to explain or describe at the dinner table. I've heard that there's a faction like that that's looking out for us, that's looking out for humanity to try to protect us from the, I hate to say dark side, but whatever the negative side is, or whatever that is, that I'd like to believe that there's that side. I'd like to believe that there's the other side as well, that it's a program, it's a thing. We just gotta stamp the paper and push it down the field. The other part is, I think you hit the nail on the head a little bit, is that we're all, as humans, at least entertaining the idea that we're way more powerful than we know, and that we all have this power within us. The simple things like, I know the phone's going to ring before somebody calls, and it's like my mom. Like we do that all the time, but we've been so conditioned to just dismiss it out offhand that we're crazy. We're tinfoil hat. The Robinson panel did an amazing job. They were really good at doing that in 52 to make everybody think they're crazy so they can study it. That work the same way with the psychic abilities and human abilities. And I really think there's a war on that as well, because if like you said, if everybody could remote view, I lost my car keys, I can't find my mom, I can't find my my dog or my butt. If we could all just focus and come up with a way to do that, secrets would start to diminish at that point. Things that the control mechanism that we are probably unaware of it on the daily basis starts to fringe and dissolve a little bit. So how do you keep people focused on not that power, that you're powerless, that you can't do those things, that you're just a regular human, but there's this cool alien thing that could, no, I mean, we can all do these things. So I don't know if I answered the question.
You did, because the ultimate control is fear, right? They're gonna want you fearful of right. anything, and you're never gonna discover your power if you're just so low vibration and low frequency, because you're just locked up in fear, like sap all over your, like bark, So anyway, so you did. That was perfect answer. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
But I just want to say you guys are doing fantastic with question and answer, so that it can keep moving, both Jon, our guest, and the other cabbies here. So thank you, because I know it's like everybody, there's lots to get in. We have 2 from the audience. So let's go with Courtney Connected, please.
Jon, I'm really interested in your perspective, the holistic way you approach the spiritual component. You talk about the spiritual reality of this and NHI and contact experiences specifically and uniquely. You have a unique voice and perspective doing it. So when you're seeing this, NHI led contact experience, how do you think that is shaping the experiencers, not belief systems, because I think you've gotten into all that, but how do you think that might be shaping disclosure from an experiencer perspective? And I know that's complex, but you have, knowledge about different types of religions or groups like the Rosicrucians. So I'm just wondering if you looked at that angle, NHI and experiencer contact, and how that shapes disclosure from an NHI element.
Yeah, no, honestly, I think it's massive. I think I wrote this in the book, but I think that it's not going to be, disclosure in my mind is already here. And it's not somebody coming out in front of a microphone and saying whatever. I think that for each person, it's that moment where you are faced with something that's beyond your comprehension, or in any regard, your religious comprehension, your whatever you can come up with, that it almost, I think I said it's almost like an initiation experience in one of the esoteric traditions. So I'm Freemason, Rosicrucian, like I've gone through all these rituals where it's a purposefully built mechanism to open you up to a greater perception. for everything around you, yourself, you're mainly for yourself, but for everything else. And I think that when that happens, when people have these experiences, whether it be any ghost, a Bigfoot, a UFO, an angel, a demon, whatever that is, I think personally for each person, it opens up a window or a door to be open to a much wider realm of experiences that we normally don't talk about every single day or experience every single day. And some people, like I said, when I was younger, I was more fearful, and I was so often that I wanted to run away from it. And I think that if we can help people understand that it's just a normal part of reality, and to embrace it, that window opens more, the aperture opens more in the camera, that it allows it to come in, and then you can approach it without fear. You can approach it without running and hiding and embracing it. And then each person that does that has that experience. Like I said in my book, I grew up thinking that UFOs were real because my father had an experience in the late 50s, early 60s where, and he told me, my dad's not going to lie to me. I mean, I was a kid. He's like, yeah, traffic stopped in Toledo. I was out. He was working at a gas station attendant, right? Where back then the car would pull up and like 5 people would attack the car. Somebody pumped the gas. It was like a NASCAR thing. People, that's how it was back then. Somebody do the windshield wipers, pump the gas, all the thing. And he ran outside and blocks of the city were stopped and everybody just staring at a giant silver scar-shaped craft. Broad daylight, traffic stop, people stop. Nobody's doing anything. And just for a long time. And then just, so but the way he told it to me, I'm his son. He's explaining this to me. I didn't know about the stigma. I didn't know about the tinfoil hat or you're crazy if you believe in UFOs or anything abnormal. He told me this like it was a real event, and that's how I treated it because it was personal and passionate, and he told me about it. And I think if we have those experiences and we share that with others, and others are open to the experiences, maybe they'll have one as well. And maybe that just snowballs where we all can have this conversation. Where I have this impression that maybe you shouldn't go tonight because something, right? And then something happens. Like, don't go out. Like just have these conversations. Don't hide these feelings that you have, this gut feeling, and embrace it. Talk about it. Don't be ashamed about it. Don't be shy about it. I think that each person that does that opens that window where we can have a better conversation. And then I think it honestly changes society, one person at a time, one group of people at a time, one family at a time, one, culture. And I think we're there. I think because of the internet and the speed of every communication, that I think we're just slowly ticking that up. And I do believe the government recognizes it as well, and is trying to get on the right side to make themselves look okay. Like we had to throw people off of bridges. It was like we had to protect everybody because and I understand that. I mean, people had to do things and sacrifice things, but I think that's where we're at. And I think that if we all just loved a little bit more, had more empathy, and empathy is a superpower. I think we should like embrace all those things. And honestly, I think that's where disclosure is for me. It doesn't matter if anybody tells me there's disclosure. I've seen it. I don't need anybody to tell me.
Empathy is a superpower. It shouldn't be. It should be fairly common, but it isn't. Who's next? I believe is it Kev?
Ruthie had a question. Ruthie had a question.
Well, what we're gonna do is I want to get the cabbies in, and then before I go, then I'm gonna get Julie, Ruthie, but I think was Kevin next?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, go ahead, Kev. Go ahead.
Yeah. Sir. Well, basically, I just really want to tell you, I really like how you invented your own road show. You have your total own personality. You've got your own podcast. You're publishing books. So you're somebody I kind of look up to because this is the process I eventually want to do. So for someone developing my own niche approach to this topic, what advice would you give for staying grounded while still staying curious? Because there are so many different directions you can go. How do you filter? How do you handle what's coming in?
You got to touch grass a lot. You got to go out and be inside of. It's a joke, but you really, look, Courtney. Yeah, perfect. You have to go out there and hug that tree. It sounds stupid and it's weird, but we all get so wrapped up in keyboard warriors and conversations of people that you never met, and fighting with people that are probably bots and whatever else all day long. And you got to get back to, you know, where we've kind of sequestered ourselves as humans. You got to get out there. And you know, my experience, we might get to it, we might not. My experience with the white lady, after that experience, made me like really focus on nature and animals and other people and feelings and emotions and my place in all of those things and how I can help and be of help more for all of those things. Like I didn't give a crap about birds anymore, but now I can go outside and I'm like, oh my God, I can name 50 different birds and I look for them and I feed them. And like, you know, like it's just like a complete different relationship I have with nature, and everybody around me has changed. And I try to approach that all with love and light and happiness and thankfulness and gratitude every day. I'm just grateful. You know, I find myself being, I don't know, a continual grateful prayer. Just be grateful that the sun or the rain or the moon, or all of these things that are just around all the time that I took for granted my whole life. Honestly, just being out there with in your bare feet, walking in the sand or the dirt or just and you know, letting things come to you, I think is really
so
helpful.
Embrace that direct experience.
Exactly, and don't push away the things that are fleeting. As far as like thoughts or ideas or all those things, like just, you know, if something rings true to you, hold on to them. If you see somebody walking by and their shoes untied or something, like, dude, hey, you know what I mean? Like if you have that feeling in your thought, in your head, like, you know, tell that person or whatever. And like, I've had times like, I'm not going to bother. And then it falls on their face because you know, it's like you're there to help, I think. And I think we're all here to help each other. And that's how we get through it all. So yeah, and if you need help, Kevin, let me know, dude. I'll help you, whatever.
I'll reach out to you.
Dude, I'm making it up as I go. There's no plan, man. I'm just doing it.
Cool.
And somehow when you're outdoors and you kind of connect with, you know, grounding everybody, you know, even when I went Bigfooting, I was grounding just to make sure if there was a Bigfoot there that I was communicating directly with it. I was touching the earth with my feet. It was at night. It wasn't necessarily warm. But I wanted, if there was and one of those entities there, I wanted them to know what my intention is. But I think it also works universally. I think you can connect to the universe by just what he said, touching a tree, hugging a tree, putting your feet on the ground, closing your eyes, go to Tadasana. If you know that pose in yoga, and if you don't, you can look it up. It's phonetic, Tadasana. And just think about what it is you're trying to connect with, and I'm certain that you will. We have questions here, which I want to get to from both Julie, the chat, and then I'll go. So, but let's go with Jules. Jules here saying, John, I had a being of light whoosh at me and felt it hit me while frozen as a teenager. Could that be a white lady experience? It was like it went through or in me, reminiscent of Bledsoe's bull, which I think Jim Semivan talked about. Is that a white lady? Is that similar to your white lady experience?
Yeah, I mean, it's different for everybody. This is something that I always struggle with, and it might as well be a good segue to talk about it. I wrote about it in the book. It happened to me. And I always do this, and it's weird. And I've watched podcasts back because when I start talking about it, it's hard for me. I wrote about it, right? And it was hard for me to write about it. But it's hard for me to even speaking about it multiple times in multiple podcasts, or even just if you're in a room with me to talk about it. I struggle with my perception of everything that happened and my emotions and my feelings and what it could be or couldn't be. And I find myself, I'm just kind of staring off in the distance and I'm looking for the words, and I'm looking because every time I focus on it, about it, to speak about it, I feel it again. It's like a emotional connection to it, like a strong empathetic connection to it that I can't describe, or put into words. It feels like all of the emotions wrapped into a single ball and just thrown into your stomach at the same time. I think that's kind of how it felt. It feels even when I'm speaking about it now, but the gist of it was, it's the most cliche thing ever, but I don't remember the date. I don't remember the moon phase. I don't remember where it was. I was in the backyard at my house. I don't know if I was raking, gardening, mowing, something happened day, night. A lady that was glowing internally. I tried to kind of make the book cover a little bit of what the experience was, but it was more visceral. Came to me from the Northeast, and it was a glowing ball, just a woman coming to me. I mean, it was a woman, flanked behind her with two male figures that were definitely putting off a male energy, that were cloaked like down to their chin, darkest black blue, like the darkest blue that would be black behind her, but still, with her. And it didn't look like she was walking. It was just kind of towards me. And the perception was she was, right on top of me. And I got this overwhelming sense of familiarity. I'd known her, whatever. And she just presented a sword to me in the palms of her hands, like just handing it to me, like she wanted me to take it. And I could still feel it when I think about it hard enough. I feel the overwhelming sense of responsibility and duty, and like it's my job, whatever it was. And naturally, when somebody tries to hand you something, you kind of go, reach for it, whatever. But when I reached for it, and this is the best way I explain it. I explain it this way all the time: is you ever seen the movies where they do massive cut scenes like instantly, and they extend periods of time from your baby to your forever?
Yes.
It was like that, but for thousands of years of me with the sword, just sand, desert, blood, death, destruction, over and over and over, different places, different times, different aspects, different things, and me with the sword, looking at the sword in my hand, and all of this carnage all around me. Blood, literal blood on my hands, and being responsible or part of whatever this was. And I just was done. I was done. I'm done. So I didn't do it. I didn't grab it. And I said, no, I'm not doing it again. And then the two male figures got closer. Like I felt like they were sentries or enforcers or something. But at the same time, the empathy I got from them was like, man, we don't want to do this. Like, we don't have to do this. We don't want to do it either. They're almost like, I don't want to do this either. Like, I don't want to make you do this. We don't want to make you do it. Like they feel like they had to, like we have to make you do it if you don't do it. And I just was like, when I felt that presence from them, I was just done. I was like, no, absolutely. I've screamed out like, no, I'm not doing it again. I'm fucking done. I'm done. No, like that was it. And it was just slow back and then gone. And to me, I said in the book, and I still struggle with it. Did I do the right thing? Was it a test? Was it a test for me to see if I would take the thing, or was I supposed to and I didn't? Now I'm going to suffer for it, or was it? I looked at it from a billion. I'm an analyst. I looked at it from a billion different angles, and I still don't, because I'm so emotionally tied to the entire experience that I don't know. That's the best thing I could say. I don't know. The feeling I have is that whatever the entity is tied to the earth. Forgive
me, John. She was trying to give you a sword.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you already have the sword.
I'm okay. Yeah.
That's very archetypical, a very mystic motive, like the Lady in the Lake kind of thing. That's really cool.
I don't know what to make of it. I can tell you what happened to me afterward. Like I said, I was more like awesome, more loving and caring. And, I care, and everything that went through my head at the moment is like, I have a family. I love my wife. I love my kids. I love my job. I love my friends. I love my parent, like all of these things. I don't want to leave that. I don't want to go away from that. I feel that love and I love that. And I felt like I'd be giving that up. and I didn't want to lose any of that. So I pushed it away. And I'll say this, I've said it before, and then in my experience, people I've met, that it's interesting. I found a correlation where I've met other people that have had this same experience, not the same experience, but the experience I would assume would be the entity. I would think, like I said, I believe she's tied to the earth. She is the earth. She is the earth, or tied to the earth. I don't know. But I've met people that I've been friends with, and then years go by that I was like, yeah, I've had an experience kind of like that, like kind of with and it was just like, holy shit, like how are we? And it feels like we're finding each other in weird kind of ways where men and women, like it's all across the board, different ethnicities, ages, whatever, but we're kind of finding each other. And I don't understand the pattern. I don't, like I said, I'm still putting all of it together, and it's hard for me because I'm so attached to it to look at it from the outside. So I can't tell you, Jules, if you had the experience with whatever that was, if it made you feel any way different or whatever. I don't know. I can tell you that obviously it's subjective, but if it did something to you and you still hold on to it, then yeah, I guess I don't know. I mean, I didn't have the experience with the balls in the sky that I've seen, or the goat, like, whatever, ghost people, like, I didn't have that experience. It was a definitely visceral experience. And forgive me, because like every time I talk about it, I just go into that.
No, please.
Phase where it's just.
I was trying to communicate to you that this is a safe space and that we're here to hear anything. I was doing that silently.
Yeah, I got it. No, I got it. I just, like I said, I just kind of get into the zone where I'm just like, man, all this, it's so hard to put into like meaningful words.
Well, Jake Barber has said, I can't quite describe it. Dan Sherman has said there are things, that they can't describe. And to Jules's question, Whitley Strieber's experience was far different than Anjali's experience. So, or Darren Exo-Academian's experience, or Chris Bledsoe's experience. So I think that's fair. Let's move on to the next question, because we're definitely going to make this a 2-hour show, which gives us about a little over 30 minutes because there's just so much here.
Can you hang on? Can you hang on before you go? I do have to go. I had a commitment, but John, I want to say thank you.
Oh, thanks, Courtney.
It's nice to see you on Cab. I follow you. I follow your stuff. I'm reading the book, and I'll keep posting about it. But I just wanted to say goodbye and thank you.
Oh, thank you. Like, reach out. I love your work too. It'd be awesome. We talk. I mean, honestly, any questions, whatever. If you see correlations that I don't, dude, seriously, hit me up. It'd be awesome.
I have a lot of questions. I'll follow up.
I'm here. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Bye, everybody.
Oh, by the way, real quickly, I just want to let everybody know, we're going to have Courtney Wednesday. She's wrapping up some reporting. She's doing some research. I'm not going to tell you what she's doing unless she wants to tell you. And so we're going to plan on Wednesday having Courtney connected on to talk about that. And tomorrow, Monday, Memorial Day, we're going to have a fundraiser for this young lady right here to get Carolyn Clapper to connect with the medium, to connect with the deceased officer, John O'Keefe. And it's going to be Jay Boogie, Amy, myself, and whatever other cabbie wants to join in. And then Courtney on Wednesday. All right. Bye, Courtney.
Thanks, Courtney.
Bye, love. All right. Okay. So we have we have Ruthie Robles here who says, question, John, do you think hybrid humans live among us? What are your thoughts about them and the connection with astral projecting and other mind gifts like telekinesis? Weird question. I know it's not weird. I mean, this is a good question. No, we lost wait a minute. We talked telekinesis and there goes Akashi Chris. All right. So
she's going to be speaking with us telepathically from now on. We don't need to see her. She's just like, well, that's it. I don't need to be here. I'm going to go walk the dog or whatever. Yes. Yes. No, yes. Yes. If you think about it, there's hybrids in every animal species that there are. Fish, every mammal, plant, Real right. I mean, find something that's not hybridized.
Ligers, right? The lion, tiger,
Anything, anything. I mean, if you believe the Bible or read the Bible, there's, how many people say that they, the Watchers came down and, mated with the Earthlings and bore daughters and sons to them. There's that aspect of it. There's the evolutionary chart is just all over the board. I mean, we keep finding crap that's older. We keep finding species that we didn't know existed that don't fit into the whole tree. There's a lot of things out there that I don't know. Yes, I do believe there's probably hybrids. There's probably aliens walking among us. If we call them aliens, I believe that. I believe there's people that aren't from here. There's people probably all over the place that way. I think you can feel it mostly.
May I tack on to that question, John, and ask you why you think some non-human intelligences want human DNA? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, that's kind of a loaded one. Well, I bring everything in, right? So I've done a really good job, I think, through my teaching and just trying to ground myself that like I'm an experiencer, but that I'm also, like I said, I'm a security professional too. So I'm still skeptical. I'm not a believer in everything. I look at all the frameworks and I put it in buckets where everything has weights, right? Well, somebody told me this 10 years ago. Somebody told me this 5 years ago. Somebody had this experience. Well, okay, great. I mean, that was a really good subjective experience, but until you sense patterns and you look at the overall scope of the whole thing, I don't know if I can have an answer. I've heard some wild things about DNA. John Warner IV did my my foreword to my book. Good friend of mine, great guy, has experiences that far surpass things that people know it publicly. Connections to things and people that would boggle your mind if you knew about it. And I've heard a lot of things where John's told me that DNA is one of the most coveted things in the universe for other species, perhaps, that they use it for all kinds of things. There's stories of people especially in wars where bodies go missing. You can't find mass graves. You can't find, but there's 15,000 people, like during World War II, 20,000, 30,000 people. Where do they go? Where's their body? You would think that would be somewhere. And that's true throughout history, where you find these just missing people everywhere. And why is that? DNA is, as we know it, changing daily. It's the best way to store information. I mean, we're talking about it just from the IT perspective. There's lots of different studies where they're trying to encode data into DNA. It's the easiest way to encode data. It's a living thing, and it's massive. You can massive amounts of data in little amounts of space. We call it junk DNA. We call it junk DNA. I don't really believe that. I think that there's a massive amount of things that are tied into our DNA that we have no idea how to tap into yet that are there. So I think that's probably one of the key things that, as we go on, RNA as well, that we don't have a quite an understanding grasp of it yet, but I think it's a major contributor to consciousness and other things. There are at least pathways between each other. I don't even know if I answered that question, but sure.
This is John's show, but I'm gonna. I mean that. I mean that. So, and
it's your show. Yeah, I'm just on it.
This episode is dedicated to you. But I'll tell you what I think. Although
thank you, DJ.
You're quite welcome. I don't think I'm not like a human exceptionalist, simply because I don't know what kind of intelligences are out there in the universe.
Of course.
But what I will say, based on having interviewed experiencers, heard interviewers, experiencers speak, I believe that if you were to go to YouTube right now and just type in the name of your favorite band and listen to them and understand that it is the sum of everything that happened to them from birth until the moment when they wrote that song. Love, fear, hate, anger, disappointment, exuberance, joy, all of those emotions led into them creating that artwork. And I believe the purpose of any artwork is to move emotion. That's what art is for. I don't care if it's in a music form, written form, whether it's writing, what John did, or if it's the visual medium that Akashi and Kevin do, or it's music, etc. So I think what they're after is that they don't, if I asked anybody on the panel here, can you define what a feeling is? You can't. You just have that word. It's a feeling. I don't know how to, it's love. Well, what's love? Well, it's a feeling. Well, what's a feeling? You can't describe it. So I think what they're after is that they somehow, or at least the intelligences that have interacted with us, that have wanted the DNA, don't have that. They don't know how to do that. And if they can use some of what they have and some of what we have, they maybe can create art and experience joy and love and fear and hate and everything that enables us to produce things that I don't think, or at least the intelligences we know of, to be fair, like known physics, right? Oh, well, it's not in physics, so they can't possibly do that. Well, it's not in known physics that you know about. So anyway, so that's my theory on what I think that some intelligences want our DNA is so that they can experience a feeling, which then gets you everything else that I've just discussed over the last 2 minutes I stole from John.
No. That's, I like that. I it's interesting because we're creative. I mean, like Warner said to me, I said, well, why do they want us? Why do they want humans? He said, well, we're commodities. I said, why? He said, well, because we can make stuff. So what do you mean? He's like, well, like, so Warner and I are into classic cars and hot rods, and so we can go in a junkyard and pull a motor out of this car and throw it in the transmission of that. And we can throw the rear end of this car, and we just come out and just drive a car out of the junkyard with a bunch of crap. And he's like, nobody else can do that. It's like, we could just make things happen. He's like, we could just be creative and just do things. He's like, nobody else has that. I'm like, yeah, I guess. He's like, we could just, cobble things together. We're creative. We're emotional. We can just make things happen. And like, yeah, cool. Like I said, bring it all in. But it does fall in the line with what you're talking about, DJ.
It's my best guess on that's just me based on what I'm told. I mean, I haven't had a contact experience, but I've spoken to people who have, and it's feeling, it's love. It's everything that creates music that when you hear it, you're like, wow, like they can use AI to reproduce it.
But you can't feel that, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a friend of mine. I had a friend of mine. He was an Air Force Special Forces guy, and he played Good Times, Bad Times from Led Zeppelin on the drums. And I said, wow, man, you played that so well. And he said, yeah, but he thought of it, meaning John Bonham.
Oh, right.
So it's like, can they use AI so that they can copy something that we did? Sure. But they can't create that. And I think everything that is used to create what you guys create, everybody that's on the screen right now, except me.
You're creating this, dude. You're doing something, man. Don't act like you're not. This is good.
So anyway, that's my thought. But let's get back to the questions here. We have one here. This one, let me make sure I get it right. Forgive me if I've left one out here. Full disclosure, I was also a viewer on the Mount Adams project and was very interesting. And I think we all had pertinent hits, including the first machine volcano.
Oh, wow. Jules, you were on that too? That's amazing. We're going to have to talk.
There you go,
yeah, I got to see some of the reports afterwards. I put them in the book. So Jules, I don't know if yours is in there. Let me know. But yeah, so I got to, she was fortunate enough to say, here's all the rest of the people's RV experiences. And I was just like, wow, mine I thought was the outlier, but I'm glad I wasn't the only time machine volcano guy.
Yeah, she's helped us out a couple of times, Jules. She's quite talented. John, if you had to guess, you think NHI, I don't know what PL stands for, if anybody does, are pro or anti-disclosure, and why? Thanks. That's from Hicks 3279.
Yeah. So yes, It's like another one of those, like, it's another, it has to be, everybody thinks of it in so like a mono theistic thing where it's like, it's either this or that. No, what if there's this branch of NHI and this other branch and they don't like each other so much? I've heard that as well. Like, what if these people don't like these people and we're in the middle? What if these people like us more? What if these people think we're a commodity? Maybe because we're the guys that can hot rod stuff, and so they use us. Or maybe somebody else wants us to be free. Maybe there's a bunch of humans that have taken the technology from some of those people and said, hey, screw you, we're going to fight ourselves and everybody can just go away. Or, we're sovereign, we can do whatever we want. Maybe we're going to use your own stuff against you, but we need more time. I hold all of it as an open availability. Like I said, we were talking about Werner a little bit ago, and Werner said to me one time, he said, how when you go to Mexico or whatever, and you land in the airport and you go to the duty-free store, and you can just buy all this stuff, and it's just, you don't have to pay taxes on it, and you got chocolate, and you got all this stuff over here, and you just buy all this stuff from all over the place, and you don't have to pay any taxes. It's like, Earth's a duty-free store. The entire Earth's a big duty-free store. It's like everybody comes here and gets whatever they want. They get coffee, they get chocolate, they get booze or whatever, but nobody's allowed to mess with anybody else. You can't go in there and just raid people and steal things. And it's like we're just a big duty-free store. So everybody's hands off. But there's a lot of stuff here that everybody wants. Well, I can kind of see that. Maybe. That's a good theory.
And Jules is wanting to get across to you. No, I didn't get the Time Machine Volcano, but I was saying that I thought it was a hit for you after we learned the target.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, Jules. Yeah, that was wild. Yeah,
good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Akashi, you are next, my friend.
So, by the way, real quick, before I go to my question, I was thinking when you were talking about the lady and talking about the trees and the grounding, I kept thinking Excalibur. When Percival told, he was telling kings, like, hey, you and the land are one. That's the secret of the Grail. I was thinking that that's really the secret probably of all of us, because we're supposed to be connected to the earth. And maybe when we realize that, our power will burst out of us. So having said that, I have a question for you, because I've never talked to a Rosicrucian before. And I'm sure a lot of people probably don't even understand what that's all about. So I do want to see, what is a day in the life of a Rosicrucian / Freemason, and what, is there rituals, special meetings? And if anybody wants to, if you want to share any knowledge, people want to get into it, or is it only for cool people like you?
Well, I wake up every morning and I go to the bathroom.
That's good.
After that,
let me take notes.
Okay, yeah. Put my socks on. Yeah. Yes. It's so I didn't know it was real. Like I didn't, I read a lot. I obviously, right, but I didn't know it was real until I was approached by them. I'm a Freemason, right? Obviously, so there's the branch of Rosicrucianism that I'm a part of is the Masonic branch of Rosicrucianism. It's the CISSP, and it's a branch of Rosicrucianism that's tied to Masonry. There's other branches. There's other branches that men, women, anybody can join that are out there. This one is Masonic only, so you have to be a Freemason. You have to, be a part of the York Rite of Freemasonry, which is the Christian side of Masonry. And because I'm a Knights Templar as well, it's just the thing. But I didn't know it was real. They came to me and they said, you know what, John, what do you think about this? I'm like, you guys are messing with me. This is not you guys are but it is. You can Google it, sricf.org. We do have grades, so I belong to a Rosicrucian college. It's actually called a college. Invisible College makes a little bit more sense now. But basically, we are a research body where we do have rituals. We do have different grades that go through different rituals, like I said, that tie us to chart and charge us to study a lot of things that I've spoken about: nature, man's place in the world, how we interact with deity. We can call them non-human intelligences, I guess, but it's not what it's spelled out to be. And it doesn't necessarily say God or Jesus. Those aren't words that are in there, but it does help us connect to elements and study the world around us to be more connected to it and be a better shepherd of our power and to help others on the planet. So if you think about it, back when it became very secretive and very needed was if you did anything outside of the church, study or research or anything that it was heretical, and if the church found out about it, you would literally be burned at the stake for heresy, right? So if I just wanted to figure out how, grass grew and I wanted to do anything like that, think about that. I wanted to do something about fire, or I wanted to learn about elements and things, you're basically doing witchcraft and you'd be burned at the stake. So a lot of people at the time had to do it in private. And then you can only get so far by yourself. So you'd bring other people in, and then it was another thing where you have to be quiet about this, because if anybody finds out about this, they're going to burn this all down. And literally for a long period of time, thousands of years, that everybody had to do those things in quiet to study nature and your life and the world and your place in it. So as a Rosicrucian, we're basically tasked with the same thing. Actually, our motto is to heal the sick in that gratis, which means to heal the sick for free, is one of our tenets as Rosicrucians. So it's to heal the sick in that gratis, which is Latin, obviously, to heal the sick for free. So that's one of our main tenets, is to heal the sick for free, to help wherever we can, and to do it without charging. So if you think about that in context from 1,000 years ago, where maybe I knew how to take this plant that would literally cure you, save you, and I could distill it into something and give it to you to save your life. But if anybody found out about that, I'd be burned, murdered. You had to keep that quiet. So that's where the invisible college, the Rosicrucianism thing is. And then obviously as years progress, it's more spiritual, theoretical, analytical. But we have a publication that comes out once a year. It's amazing that some of these people that do, there's math that's this thick that I have no concept of, that people have been doing things for years. And we have a record of it for so long, of just amazing people and amazing research that everybody's been doing throughout this time. So I'm very fortunate that I don't know why they asked me, but I keep going like,
I do. I
can tell.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Thanks. So it's
you
just
get the whole empathy thing. You keep talking about empathy, and that's exactly when you were talking about your motto. It's about helping. It's like, why is this so bad? It's like, these are the greatest things. This is what makes us human. This is probably why they're interested in us, because we do have that power to be that, but we forget.
Yeah, we do. We honestly do, and it's needed. It's massively needed at this time, and I think that's it. I'm fortunate enough to have people around me that are awesome. Like you guys are awesome. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'd be
We're
nothing
happy
without,
to have you.
Yeah, the guests want to come
awesome.
on and engage with us. It's a blessing.
You're my heroes, bro.
No, dude, stop.
Dude, you don't remember last time, but anyway, Kevs, please get another one in with Jon, and we have some audience questions. And I got another question that he's not expecting. Or maybe he
I got a question.
Yeah, so I'm still hung up.
How about this, DJ? I got a question for you. Right. After you get out through that, I got a couple of questions for you, buddy.
All right.
Ask you something.
All right. You go first, Kev.
All right, I'm actually still stuck on your that experience you described, because it involved a sword, and that's a very powerful symbolic object. Yeah. So here's the thing I've noticed: experiences, a lot of them, they seem timeless, like almost mythic. So do you think that the phenomenon, or whatever you want to call it, may adapt itself to human culture, and maybe using that archetypical symbolic layer as maybe a mode to communicate?
It is. I think I 100% believe it, because in my book I go through Fatima and a bunch of other experiences where people have experiences with a glowing female entity, and they tie it to the Virgin Mary, for example, right? And the Fatima, right? It was the Virgin Mary. She never came out and said she was the Virgin Mary. She never, that was never discussed. The church came in real quick and said that's what it was. There's been other experiences that were like that. myriad experiences throughout time that have had that put on there. But if you go back thousands of years, it was the Fae, it was the it was more the Mother Earth goddess. It was if you go back to even farther, it was Hathor, it was Inanna, it was Isis, it was all of the other cultural female deities at the time that people saw and interacted with. Well, Isis showed me the way. Hathor helped me cross the bridge. It was all of these other things. So I think it, and I don't know if it's, I toy around with this idea. I don't know if it's it or if it's us. I don't know if it's the filter that we have, because it's so outside of whatever we can perceive that we mentally ourselves throw an overlay on it of something that we can relate to. That example, like the Virgin Mary. If I grew up Catholic in the middle of Spain and I didn't know anything else, and a woman in white robes came to me, that's the Virgin Mary, right? If the Native Americans have another tradition I talk about as well, is the white buffalo calf woman. Same kind of experience. A white they call her the white buffalo calf. A white woman, all her robes, come down, taught them a bunch of different things, gave them a ceremonial pipe. They have the 7 things that they taught everybody in Native American tradition. It's a big deal. It's still a big deal for them as well. So every tradition all over the globe, no matter what, you have your overlay on it. So is it us? Is it our own way to perceive it? Or is it, like you said, or is it the phenomenon itself mirroring itself or masking itself into the things that we could potentially perceive? I'm kind of leaning towards since we are the music makers, we're the dreamers of dreams, right? So it's like Willy Wonka. We're the ones that are perceiving this whole thing. We're the ones that are making it up to be what it is. I think it is what it is, but we're making it up.
And without emotion, can you have Mark Twain? I mean, like, can you have Friedrich Nietzsche? I mean, you can't have these things without emotion, and that's clearly what they want. It's not just technically designing something; it's creating something that makes you feel. Not like the fact that, I don't know, if I took the most advanced 18-wheeler on the road today and how it can haul, but the gas mileage that it gets compared to one that was profiled in Smokey and the Bandit, it wouldn't move you emotionally to look at that truck. So they can create things that are technological in nature, but that are not inspiring the way that it's, 70 Chevelle SS is when you see it, right? You have a visceral reaction when you see that, and you're like, oh, wait, does that have the cowl induction? Is that a 454? Is that the 396?
I never looked at a Honda Pilot and was like, wow.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Or, even like I'm a former Prius owner. I mean, it has the technology. You're going to get over 50 miles of the gallon, but it doesn't move you emotionally. But humans have this ability to create so many things that are just so moving. For some people, it's Frank Lloyd Wright. You know what I mean? In his architecture, So there's many different forms of it, So anyway,
yeah, no, I like that.
Yeah. So do I get a question now, Akashi? Am I going to get? Yeah. Akashi says yes. That's the host
it's your
of mine.
turn, DJ. It is your show. It is your turn. I allow you to ask a question to John.
I got the endorsement of the Super Bariqua, the host of Mind Forked, Akashi Chris. There she is, scrolling across the bottom of the screen right there.
All right.
And hopefully Kevin, I want to get him up on a show, get him on podcast as well. So anyway, I don't want to frame this question for you, even though we alluded to it earlier in the show. So I just want you to kind of take off and riff on this one, the phenomenon known as Sasquatch or Bigfoot.
It's interesting. So here's what I've found out through all of my research into everything that I've been a part of, is that the people that are 100% into Bigfoot don't talk to the people that are into UFOs. And the people that are into UFOs don't talk to people that are into ghosts. The people that aren't into ghosts don't talk to people that are psychic. and people that are psychic don't talk to people that are into cryptids, and there's a circle, right? That this shit just keeps going in this big circle. And if you look at any of these experiences subjectively at all, just even 2% of any of them, there's commonalities that are completely congruent all the way through. And it's like an ontological shock for some people. Are like, oh, UFOs don't have anything to do with Bigfoot, and Bigfoot has anything to do with the, like, yes, all of this shit has to do with consciousness. All of it. You are conscious. You're a conscious human being, and you're part of this thing, and your consciousness is part of all of it. And I think that all of these things, like I was saying earlier, are the window. It's the aperture opening. You have your Bigfoot experience, whatever experience, you're opened all of a sudden to things that you didn't even want to think that you could perceive before. And then where does that go? They've done a really good job, like I said, on purpose to silo all of these things from everyone. You're the Bigfoot guy. You're the UFO guy. No. There's room for all of this thing because it all connects with humans consciously and subconsciously, maybe even. Like it sometimes just you don't even know it. It's happening to you. So where does it fit? I think it fits into that realm of all of these things are possibilities that if we care enough and we show any interest in and are just open enough to see these things or feel them or experience them, that I think that it's going to be more beneficial for everybody. Like I said, that's just one of those things where we're too quick to throw all these things aside just because of conditioning, social conditioning, whatever. And that's a purposely built mechanism known through freedom of information by the government. We're going to separate all these people.
Yeah, I mean, look at the sidebar right next to you and Kevin. You see there's a UFO there, there's a Bigfoot there, and then there's the eye that Nathan made this artwork here that could be consciousness, it could be paranormal.
The all-seeing eye of God, yeah. Right.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say John probably has some other thoughts about that.
I have that tattooed on me.
And so that's kind of the point of calling all beings, is that we would like to have you on the show to talk about any of those phenomena, whether they be Sasquatch and or UFOs or paranormal, ghosts, mediums, psychics, the whole nine yards.
And you got all of it. Like it's all in there.
And I was going to say, Julie may be able to offer some perspective on this, but I would guess that about 25% of Bigfoot experiencers that have had a Class A type experience have experienced also mind speak. Sometimes not even a Class A, not even where they can see it, but where it has communicated with them in their head what they wanted them to do or not do. But if I had to take a guess, probably 25%, and those are the ones that would admit it.
Wow.
So yeah, clearly they've been able to communicate with humans. I'd say, because I don't think that many people would make it up from many different states that this creature has been seen in, which is probably like 47 different states. So
different countries, there's all over the world. I mean,
you're right. You're right. Other countries, we were just talking about the Almasty in Russia, they call that, or the Yaren in China. I mean, it's not,
you got all of them. It's just everywhere.
Yes, it's not a North American thing only.
No, not at all. It's worldwide. And so at some point you got to look at that. Yeah. I mean, there was one point where everybody in the world didn't believe that meteorites existed. They believed that meteorites and asteroids, they weren't real. It was like for an extended period of time, up until like the late 1800s, they didn't believe that meteorites were a real thing.
I'm going to look this up here real quick, but someone might be able to help me with the mountain gorilla was in the 1920s in one of the countries in Africa. And there were academics who said, this doesn't exist. There's no such thing. And the native tribesmen were like, no, they definitely exist.
We see them all the time. Yeah.
They definitely exist.
They come in here and steal our fruit all the time.
There you go.
So, yeah, it's totally it.
Yeah. All right. Let's get final comments for Jon. We'll go around. We'll get him out of here in 2 hours. We do have this up right here. Julie has been Akashi and Julie have been putting the book in the chat, which is on Amazon. The book is right here.
Julie's doing great. I'm copying Julie's and
Julie.
like putting it.
She's amazing. I mean, I know.
She's awesome.
Like Jules is like the first person ever probably to be on my pod, like, you know, just comment or like my podcast, and awesome. She's been awesome forever. Thank you so much, Jules.
Oh, we will also subscribe to it, faux show, because we want to, you know, what an opportunity to get to hear what you say on a semi-weekly basis. Are you weekly? What is the?
I've been doing monthly. I've been doing, I think, a little bit. I've been trying to pick up a little bit. I've been doing so many other people's podcasts because just I want to get out and just talk to everybody. And like I did, you know, a good 5 years, 6 years straight of my podcast. And like I said, I took a little bit of a hiatus because in that time I was doing a lot of writing and researching, and I just wanted to get the book took me 6 years or something like 6 years to write. So everybody's like, oh my God, it's so big. But if you look at the back of it, there's 500 endnotes. There's like 100 pages of endnotes in the back of my book because I got so many, I would tell people, like, I'm talking to you. Oh, thank you. My friends and everybody, I'm talking, and that's the way I wrote the book. Like I'm having a conversation, like we're having a drink, we're having a beer, we're just talking, and I would say things. We're like, dude, that's not, like, you're making this up. I'm like, no, I'm not making it up. Like, look it up. So like everything I put in there, I have an endnote. I literally have a source. The 30-year rule is like the big chapter where I did that. It's like everything you have in your pocket. This cell phone is 30 years old. Like all the technology that's baked into this thing that's brand new is 30 years old, and here's the proof. And I've gone through that whole thing. And people are like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Well, here's the proof. Boom, 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 boom. And when you look at that, you're like, wow, it sets a precedent for everything we're looking at. So I did that, which what took me the majority of the time is I wanted it to be a conversation where I'm talking to you, but I also wanted you to be like, this guy could be full of shit. No, go look it up. Like here's all the sources. Go figure it out yourself. I spent my time doing it, but yeah.
Yeah, I can't say enough about you, Jon. I think everybody here is really fanboying out over you.
Thank you guys. No, thank you.
And everything that you have, basically your book, your podcast, all that will end up in the show notes for this YouTube episode and for the podcast that'll come out tomorrow.
Oh,
so I thank you, but let's get Kevin in there to give his final comments to you before we get out of here, and then Akashi.
Well, I just wanted to thank you thanks for the advice. I'm definitely going to reach out to you.
Of course,
I'm just getting started in this building my own identity thing. So yeah,
just be you, man. That's the best advice, man. Like, honestly, I
right.
was scared when I came out. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to hide. I'm not going to be another name. I'm just, if they're going to come find me, they're going to find me. I'm not suicidal. I love my family. If I die, you guys look into it.
All right.
The men in black who after they get done with Courtney, they're coming to your house.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry.
Keep looking over my shoulder.
Well, they're welcome to come here. They're going to have some resistance at my house, let me tell you.
I love that Jake Barber's commentary when Ross Coulthard asked him, are you worried about these sort of, contractor 3-letter actors coming to your house? He goes, oh man, they come to my house, be the biggest mistake they ever made in their life. And I believe it.
Wrong house, buddy.
Yeah.
Akashi, Chris, please.
Jon, this has been a pleasure. I am so happy that I got to meet you. I'm sorry I missed you the first time. Cosmic Carousel and I are already talking that we might have to have you on Mind Forked and Cosmic Carousel. So you're going to be getting more invites because, ours is a little bit different. It's more of a variety show, but I'll catch you up. But this has been so awesome. The chat has been like eating this up, like nom, 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 and so have I. So. Great. Big fan
Thank
here.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm honored. Thank you.
Thank you. Back to you, DJ. It's your show, man.
This is our goal. I mean, we have 8 cabbies now.
Wow.
And there's a couple of them that have shows, but my goal, I would hope every one of them would have a YouTube channel. Sure. And then I'll put every one of their podcasts out on my podcast stream. I would love that. We don't just want them to be on cab. You know, we want them to have their own thing that they can go and express themselves without, you know, me butting in.
Yeah.
I love you, DJ. Thank you. You're awesome.
Come on.
Yeah, love you too.
You're like the best MC ever, dude. Come on. Man.
Right?
You know, I mean, I hear the best when I hear Jesse Michaels. This guy is like, I mean, I listened to his stuff this week. He's so good, man. He's so damn good.
He's got a lot of people behind him that nobody knows about.
Oh, really? Does he? Okay.
That's what I hear.
Okay.
I hear things. I don't know. I don't know things. I hear things. I bring it all in. I hear things.
You probably know more than me.
I know. I just bring it in. I don't know. I let it go. I bring it in. I let it go.
That was like a little, hey, I'm going to just drop this at the end. Poof.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
There's a lot of researchers. I just hope they get paid. That's all I'm saying. That's all I heard. I heard that. I don't know. Somebody told me that. I just heard there's people. I don't even get T-shirts. I guess they're supposed to get I don't even think they get a T-shirt. I don't know.
Oh my god! And speaking of, oh man, let me bring this up real quick. So that it's in the wrong.
I didn't see any vans outside. I had to check with my.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
Gavin's check.
All right. It around my shoulder. I'm just trying to figure.
For those of you who want it, I'm gonna send one of these to John, and it's really just because he's a great guy. Let me see if I can share screen here real quick. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Oh, there it is. Okay, there we go. All right, so there's the cab store right there. You can find it on our YouTube.
Oh wow, look at that.
So we have this one with the and there's a gazillion different colors of everything you see there.
Oh, I see. I can see the pink. Oh, look.
There's a ton of them. This is the true crime one.
Wow.
That Boston Bia and I started.
Is that a sticker? I would love a sticker, dude.
Whatever you want, dude.
Dude, I want a sticker.
You pick something from that store and it's coming to you. So
oh my god, dude, that's so amazing. Thank you so much.
Yep.
No, that's so rad. Yeah,
I send you the link.
Yeah, dude, that's so nice of you. Thank you so much. Then people have been hitting me up, and I want to say, like, just because people are like, dude, how do I get an autograph book? Because like Amazon sucks. I mean, they're cool, they're great, but like I can't autograph a book and send it to you from Amazon. So I decided to put on my website. Look at that. That was for you, DJ.
Right there. Thank you so much. And it says EndNote on 251, but I went to 251 and I didn't see an EndNote.
Hey, I want one of those.
I'll get.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, if you go to contactingcontrol.com, you can go in there and click and say, "I want an autograph copy," and like, I'll hook you up for a better price than Amazon is, and it'll ship to you in the U.S.
Awesome.
Better.
I'm going there.
Okay, I will hook you up.
You said you had a question for me too. What was it?
This is a question I want to ask you about. So one of the things that's one of the big quotes in my book, and it is I think it's page 251.
Okay.
If you go to page, let me see. Is it? I wouldn't have wrote it in there if it wasn't right. Does it? No, not 251. That's the. Oh yeah, it is page 251. I'm not a UFO guy. I'm not a ufologist.
Mm-hmm.
Never been. Never will. Counterterrorism guy. That's what I do. Counterintelligence, counterinsurgencies. And it just so happens in 2008, I was asked to apply the same skill set into the UFO community.
Elizondo.
Lou Elizondo on the Calling All Beings podcast.
I remember that.
Were you there? You were there?
I wasn't there.
I was there.
I saw that.
He
was there.
You were there when we interviewed Lou. What's wrong with you?
Not there. Yeah. Kevin was. I wasn't there.
I asked him.
He was like, "I'm going to have a question."
Right after me. I know. I missed that party. But I remember, I was like, I remember that party.
That's one of the clips. I got talked to about that clip too. I clipped that. I put that out there, and I got talked to about that. Like, dude, I didn't. Come on, here's a pattern. I didn't say that shit. That was literally out of Lou Elizondo's mouth on your podcast. Why are you giving me shit about it?
I know the one that James put out. He has put out our clip. He made a clip of Jim Semivan dropping the F-bomb on Cab. And that's great. Thing, there's like thousands and thousands and thousands of views on that. And
so
now
great.
Semivan won't come back on. So.
I don't know. Dude, I mean, that says a lot. I'm not saying I have no skin in that game whatsoever, but when somebody has that background, and like you were saying earlier, if your job is to be an analyst, if your job is to be a counterintelligence guy, if your job is to be the Men in Black, that's your job. And I'm not putting it against anybody to be their job. I highlighted it as a data point, also as a way for people to be more perceptive of people that are in the public sphere pushing agendas that may be part of their job.
It's a very popular theory that's out there, and
I'm not saying it's one way or the other. I'm just saying it's plausible, and it's historically verifiable that that's happened previously.
One thing I could say that is existential is that Lou, Christopher, David, Grush roaming the halls of Congress, knocking on doors, garnering support, and then leaving their jobs with the government and their retirement and all that, and then getting those Congress sign on. That's something that can't be denied. No matter if there was something ulterior or underneath that, maybe there is, but I know for sure that all these congressmen wouldn't be talking about it just because I'm on air.
Right.
They did it because those guys were able to walk in the building and get a seat.
Not saying me. Oh, I 1,000% agree that there's those people that have been pushing from behind the scenes to get the part where we're out there. I'm using it as an example of other people to just use more discernment in everything that you see and hear. Even
That's
me,
fair.
Question me. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, right? Question me, like I am nobody, right? So just question me, look up everybody, just look into it, use your own discernment, use your own emotions and feeling, and just use that, and just don't buy everything hook, line, and sinker. Do your own research, do all those things.
And you know something else, John? Like the things I've been wrong about, like things that I was fairly certain wouldn't be the case, man, I've been proven wrong in my theories so many times because there's so many things going on that we thought, I'm like, oh, that can't be real. Oh, well, it is real. So you're wrong. you know what I mean?
Oh,
so
yeah.
There's like half a dozen of those at least or more.
And it takes a strong person to be able to be wrong and admit they're wrong, and then change your perception of things like that, and do that too. So, be humble in those situations for sure. I mean, I'm learning, like I said, question me, question everything. I don't know anything. So just follow your heart, follow your dreams, be empathetic, and be thankful every day and grateful. And I love you guys. And thank you so much for the opportunity to come out and hang out with you guys.
Hey, you know what? Jon Majerowski, ladies and gentlemen, please go on Amazon. One of the best books I've read in a long time. And I there's a lot of UFO books that I won't read. This one I have been reading and will read and will finish because John put so much thought into it, and you can hear how humble that he is, and he knows that a lot of things we thought we knew, we don't know, and that you have to open your mind to these possibilities and be discerning, and as Ruthie put it in there, question everything. So thank you, Mr. Majerowski, on behalf of Akashi, Chris, all the cabbies, Kevin, and myself. Peace out, one love, and we will see you down the road.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.